Hey, good evening, sports fans. It's the coach, Karl DeMasi from the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Heard every Saturday now on Facebook Live, Twitter Live. I'm going to jump on YouTube Live this weekend. And remember, my show every Saturday is presented by Coach's Corner, John Henderson and the crew. And while we're doing this, I guess, social distancing thing or dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. But, I've been spending a lot of my time trying to find things to post on Facebook or post on Prep Sports Report. Don't forget, the Prep Sports Report is brand new. Go to prepsportsreport.com, and you're going to see a whole different website. It's beautiful. You got to check it out. But anyway, I go on YouTube, and let me punch in Savannah Christian Championship. And sure enough, what comes up? The whole game of the 2011 championship game between Savannah Christian and Landmark Christian. And I watched the whole thing. I just love listening to Tommy Palmer and watching all those kids that played for Coach Chumley. And at the end, young, energetic, good sideline reporter, I don't remember her name, is interviewing my guest. And she goes, well, Mr. Irrelevant, you're not irrelevant anymore. And that, of course, was Donald Chumley, played at Robert Groves High School, went to Georgia, got drafted by the 49ers, 12th round, last pick, 336th pick. And I just said, I got to get him on tonight. We got to talk about the NFL draft. We got to talk about what he's doing. But always a pleasure. Joining me live is none other than the football coach, Donald Chumley. What's up, Coach?
Hey, Carl, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Well, I figured, us old guys, since we're not working at Islands High School, where you were sub and I was teaching, talked a lot of football and a lot of what the youngins are doing now. But, I said, I got to get you on and do this. And I know it's we got to stay in the house. And I knew you'd be up to this. You're not sitting there with your pencil and paper and doing X's and O's, I hope, right?
No, not too much, but I have been spending more time on the computer than I ever have in my life. So I guess you're never too old to learn.
No, we were talking about this before we came on. I started coaching football in high school, youth football, and then of course I got a little volunteer experience. I used to take the 8mm tape or the film to make the 8mm tape on a Sunday morning to get it done ready to bring it back to my football coach on Monday so we could show the kids. I mean, that's how far back I go. And you could tell the stories about Georgia with the film going all over the floor, right?
Right, absolutely. I can remember when I went to the University of Georgia, sitting in the film room and the coach just letting the film roll all over the floor and then winding it up at the end. Those were the days. And now here we are. We swap everything online. I can remember getting up early in the mornings after a late night of coaching in high school and having to travel across the state to swap films with someone. So it's been I've done it all when it comes to coaching and the world of technology has definitely caught up with us.
Yeah, I got lucky. The 5 years I was at Groves had a lot of talent, made to the playoffs 4 years, driving out to Dublin or exchanging film with Martin Luther King up there in Atlanta. So I mean, definitely a different story now. And you, local boy out of Garden City, Robert W. Groves High School. When you were playing high school football, what was it like back in the early 80s and Georgia recruiting you? I mean, we didn't have a huddle. We don't have a cell phone. We didn't have anything like that. What was the recruiting like back then?
Well, I've often said this, and I even said this to coaches like Mark Richt and Nick Saban. Even I said, you guys just recruiters now, college coaches, they don't get to know the kids personally as well a lot of times because a lot of their recruiting is done online and they don't make as many home visits or around the schools. It was, I was very fortunate and very blessed. It was who's who of coaching coming around the schools and, they get to know you. They spend a lot of time. You spend a lot of time talking to them. Now it's, all the kids are on social media and so a lot of times the coach has to make sure he's involved or, a lot of times they can go past the coach. So it's a whole different world now when it comes to, but I think there's pros to it, but I also think there's some negative sides to it. So I just don't think they necessarily get to know the kid's character as well as they got to know ours. they were much more hands-on coaching, recruiting back then than there is now. But I think they can reach more kids now, though. So it's a give and take thing.
And who came and recruited you at a good old school there in Garden City?
Well, I was getting recruited. Like I said, I was very blessed. I was I was getting recruited by Alabama and Georgia and LSU, Michigan and Clemson. I was getting recruited by most of the big schools. One of the hardest decisions, and I always told kids, was you got so close with these coaches because they were such good recruiters. You felt like you were going to hurt their feelings. And I've told kids now, I said, this is a business, and they're going to move on once you tell them no. But so it was different. I remember a big thrill for me was getting to meet Coach Bryant at Alabama, and having Sylvester Croons, who was coaching at Alabama at the time, come visit my house and show us videos of life in Alabama. It was a special time.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's the a Thursday night edition of the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. We're talking with Donald Chumley, who was drafted out of the University of Georgia in 1985. First started out in good old Robert W. Groves High School, the Fighting Scottish Rebels, and then he took his talents up to Georgia. He made the decision, I didn't know, out of Alabama, LSU, and so on. So 4 years at Georgia, okay, and you had a great time. I know you met your cohort in crime who, watching that championship game, Kevin Jackson all over you. I mean, it must have been a good time up there for 4 years.
Yeah, I've told my son, I said, you better not have as much fun as I did, okay, because that's not good. Kevin Jackson, I was very blessed. He was my big brother, so he kind of showed me the ropes, the good side and the bad side of the rope. So, but Kevin, he went on to coach with me. I was blessed enough to coach his son, little Kevin Jackson, and we had some special times in college, and again, they carried over all the way to Savannah Christian in coaching. So, very, very, very great times. Some of them I can talk about, some of them I can't.
No, we won't go there. I know that. So, don't forget, you also coached the son-in-law, Tyler Sumner.
Right, very much a son-in-law. That's right. And again, it's I've been very blessed in my life to have to coach some great young men and be around some great people. I was blessed as a player to be coached by some really great people, and it's fun to give back, and I'm thankful for every minute with all those guys.
All right, so let's go now to the end of your college career. We all know about these pro days, even though we didn't get all of them this year. But pro days, what was it like coming out of college and thinking that you had a shot at playing in the NFL? I mean, and you did. You got drafted. What was that process like?
Well, it was kind of a whirlwind at the time. So much was going on. The season, ended, and you start getting contacted by NFL teams. I had to go get an agent. I mean, there was some things I'd never been exposed to. It was a lot of teams where you were talking to some teams over the phone, and they were saying the scenarios. They would like to have you or look. They've been watching you for me to be ready, stay by the phone on draft night and all this. And, I kidded with the 49ers. I told the coaches, I said, man, y'all waited to the last minute to call me, didn't you? But no, it was a real, again, it was a whirlwind, but it was a lot of fun. I actually went to bed and they woke me up. So it was a great time in my life. It really was.
And of course, we know, you got released. Jerry Rice stayed there, but you went up and played in the Canadian Football League. What was playing in the Canadian Football League like? Because I still can't figure out those rules.
Well, neither could I at the beginning, but the game itself I loved it, and the Canadian players that were on the team, which was mainly made up of Canadians, and they were super good people. The game was 3 downs, And it was, you'd love this, Carl. It was pass. Oh, yeah. So I was rushing the passer every down, which was a defensive lineman. That's what you wanted to do. I can remember my first game. After I'd been up there only a week. So I'm starting, and I'm on the second series. I came off the field, and I was used to 4 down, so I was getting my helmet on third down, and behold, the coach starts screaming, "Chumley, where you at?" And the play's going on, and you could see on the film in the middle of the play, I come streaking in from the sidelines. Okay, so I wasn't quite used to the 3 downs, but about a $500 fine later, they got me used to it. So
got you used to it. All right, so before we'll finish up where you are now, where you're at now, but right now, NFL draft this year, totally different. Starts at 8:00 tonight. It's going to be a virtual draft. It's not going to be the party like it was last year in Nashville. It should have been in Las Vegas this year. So your feelings about the virtual draft, and is the talent really much better than it was back in 1985?
I think I think the talent is overall talent is there better. I really think that athletes today are better athletes than my generation. I think they're better. I don't think they're maybe not as prepared mentally. I don't think they're as mentally tough. I don't think they. I think there's some downside but I think physically the athletes are better. But I just don't know if they're quite as prepared going in. But as far as athleticism and the size of these guys, look, I'd have probably been a linebacker or something. And with my speed, when I went to, I doubt I'd have made it. But, I know these guys they worked hard to get in these positions. And I know they're them and their families are sitting on the edge of their seats. It's a special time. It really is.
All right, you're listening to the Thursday night edition of the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Remember, I'll be back Saturday with the AD from Calvary Day School, Chad Griffin, on Saturday from 9 to 10:15. We got a really big show. I'm finishing this up with Coach Donald Chumley. We know, Robert Groves High School, University of Georgia, got drafted by the 49ers, played in the Canadian League. Of course, that 2011 championship in beating Landmark Christian, which I got to watch this morning. If you go to the prepsportsreport.com, you can watch the whole game, which was broadcasted by GPS. And, of course, the great Tommy Palmer, the voice of Georgia high school football, was doing commentary, and it was a lot of fun. All right, so tell everybody where you are now. You're going to be hanging out in the corral up there in Guyton, Georgia, eh?
I am. I'm very excited. I've been to be the new defensive coordinator at South Effingham High School. It's 2 miles from my house. I've lived in Effingham now for almost 20 years, and so I'm excited about being up here. And Coach Clark, Nathan Clark, the new head coach at South, is doing a great job. He's you talking about innovative and really having a connection with the kids. I feel real blessed to be here. I'm hoping to help him continue the growth of South Effingham. And boy, I was all prepared to be really deep into it, but I didn't know I'd be coaching online like I am now. All this going on, but it is what it is. I'm learning every day, and it's fun again. It's fun. I'm excited. I'm glad to be back engaged with the kids and working with the coaches. But again, I think Coach Clark and Effingham's given me a great situation, and boy, I'm excited. Hopefully I'll be able to get back in person in front of the kids very soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're great to have you. I know I had a couple of years I had a coach against you when I was at Groves and you were at BC. It was always a lot of fun. I know I had different formations. I know I gave you a lot of work, a lot of paper I heard you would go through.
Absolutely. Good thing I had a good quarterback back then, that coach for me, that played for me, your boy. So, I had an inside track to getting, to figuring you out. So, no, them were good old days. Them were good times. And, you always gave us a lot of problems. And, but that's what makes this game fun is the friendly competition that you get to go in with against your peers. And nobody, I think, truly understands you like other coaches. We understand each other, and we understand what we go through and the challenges. And I think, when you talk about respect, you want respect from your peers more than anything else, because, again, they're the ones that truly know what you how hard you work and what you have to go through. So,
well, Coach, I know that they're blessed to have you up there in South Effingham. They got a guy that's itching to get back into it, and like you told me all along for those 3 or 4 months that we worked together over at Islands High School, that Coach, I just want to be a good assistant coach. I don't want to be a head coach. I just want to coach football, and you got your chance. I know you do a good job, and can't wait to see the Mustangs, the Donald Chumley defensive Mustangs this year.
Well, I'm excited, and I've done the head coaching thing, and I tell you what, I enjoyed every minute of it. But they can have. I really am looking forward to being just one of the wheels in the system. So I can't wait to get going with the guys, and hopefully everybody will get through this safely, and we'll go get back to some kind of normal.
Coach, I appreciate it. Be safe, and I know enjoy those virtual, football meetings you call them now. And once again, if you got anything, let me know. We'll jump on and talk some more life, and then in general talk about what's going on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carl. Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed it.
I'm telling you right now, I love that video today of watching that whole game all over again. It's nothing special. There was nothing like it. So just reliving that whole moment was a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. I know it. You got me wanting to watch it again, so I think I will.
It's right on YouTube, or you go to Prep Sports Report. It's right there. So thanks, Donald. Right. Have a good one. Tell everybody hello and tell Noah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, the man loves football. He's energetic, and he still wants to be part of it. I'm telling you, we were sitting in Islands High School. He'd come into my classroom on his break because he had nowhere to go. He's sitting there with the good old-fashioned X's and O's on pieces of papers, and he's reading books. And this man's got a state championship. He's played college, played professionally. You just got to love it. So once again, I got to thank Donald Chumley for coming on. And for those who watch this tonight, or you're going to watch later on, I appreciate it. Once again, the other side of my life, or my passion, is getting more exposure to high school kids. The PrepSportsReport.com, new website, senior recognition. I got to give a big shout out to Stephen Weeks and his crew at Sabre Solutions for putting that website together. It's unbelievable. And I'm not just saying because I'm part of it. I got a real website now. I'm excited about it. So go over there, check it out. You got a kid you want us to expose, you want us to give more love to, just give me a shout out. The new email now is K DeMasi, right there on the screen, at PrepSportsReport.com, and we'll get your athlete up there, we'll get your senior up there, and you just got to love it. Well, I said only 15 minutes. As usual, I'm over by 3 minutes. Would never do this to my teams because I know 2 hours was 2 hours. Thank you for joining in. Be safe. Watch what you're doing. Remember, we're not out of this yet. Want to see you. Remember, one day, one life. We got to live it that way. One day, be safe so we can live one life. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining in.